Arnold.
John, Navy, right? Never again volunteer yourself.
No.
I'm with John Ireland in Orville, Ohio. We couldn't help but notice this beautiful display in honor of our veterans in our country.
As far as doing all this, I'm trying to help the others.
I understand.
I don't want them to forget what upset me. I got upset the other day. I went into Bueller's Fresh Food. So I can't eat sugar, so I'm looking at the sugar contents. And I had just had on a 29-year-old girl with Ma. She kept saying it. Okay, what is it? I don't know. Something military. Because she knows I'm a veteran. I said, yeah. Just look it up on the computer. I couldn't believe a 29-year-old didn't know what that was. I was...
Padma? Oh, yeah.
Didn't know what that was.
Yeah. Oh, you mean?
P-O-W-M-I-A.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. So she's looking at that and she's going, Padma. Yeah. And she doesn't know what it meant, P-O-W or M-I-A.
No.
I understand, yeah.
No.
Unbelievable.
So yes, that upset me.
Yeah. Well, see, they take these things for granted. You know, we had, people don't know that right now, today, there are soldiers opening up their lunch and it's an MRE, right? They're out in the field.
Yeah.
And they probably haven't showered in about 7 or 8 days. And they're doing their job, right? And yet we take all these things for granted. We get hungry, we go to the grocery store down the street.
Yep.
Soldiers can't do that.
Oh, wait a minute, they don't do that. They pick up their cell phone and call and order pizza.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, you can't do that in a war zone. Like even climbing in a regular bed every night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to relax and watch some TV. And a GI, when he gets off a mission, the first thing he wants to do is get online if he can and fight for that time to get some Skype with his family back home.
You know.
And with that, we were looking. You know, our communications in Vietnam was on the back of a C ration box. We'd take the box and we'd take the cover off and we'd write, hey, doing fine, you know, that kind of thing, and send that off. All you had to do was write free on it and you could send it. But here, shucks, you get online, call your friend up, hang out. They don't get it. They don't get it one bit. Anyway, in Orville, Ohio, on the road to 30, and that way is Dalton, right? We couldn't help but notice this beautiful display in honor of our veterans in our country. And you served with Navy for
4 years.
And what years?
71 to 75.
71 to 75, and your job was?
Aviation electrician.
Aviation electrician. So were you on a ship? Or?
Yes, USS America.
USS America. And where did that go during those years?
All over.
All over? What do you mean, all over the world?
Yeah, I've been around the world. We're an East Coast carrier, and they don't go over the West Coast yet. But when the Forstall caught fire, they sent us over. We went down around Africa and went over.
You went around Africa? Okay, now there's a tradition when you cross the international date line. How's that? What's that?
I am a shellback.
You're a shell what?
Shellback.
Shellback.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means you cross the equator.
You cross the equator.
You get initiated.
And then what about the international date line when you cross that? Is there a rule or tradition? No, it's just yesterday or today or whatever, which way you're going, right? So you crossed the equator and then you went to Vietnam. And you were there. What was your duty in Vietnam with the USS America? What was their mission?
Okay, I worked on E-2s. That's the one, the radar domes.
Yeah.
We were the first ships or planes to be launched off the carrier. I would have to go up, put a SINS alignment on it, which means the airplane knows where the ship was going, da-da-da-da.
Right.
And so it would know where to get back.
Oh, so they could find their way back once they did their mission in Vietnam.
Yeah, it's a radar plane.
Okay, great. So what possessed you to do all that?
as my hat says, I'm sorry for those who my government neglected. They know they're there. They did nothing.
Do you know why I'm walking or riding my bike from Michigan to Washington, D.C.?
I would be smart and say something else, but I would say to help us.
There's 300,000 veterans that died, according to the Inspector General, waiting for VA health care. We got another 600,000 waiting, and we're losing about 120 veterans a week, to suicide.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of veterans out there that are homeless.
Yeah, I know. That's why I grew all the vegetables, and I take them down to Canton, and they give them out.
What do you mean? You take them down to Canton? You grow all these tomatoes? Yeah, that's a big garden back there.
Down in the hill.
Oh, down in the hill? We're going to go see that. Can we go see that later?
It's about done.
Pardon me?
It's about done.
Well, and so what do you do with the tomatoes?
I put them in bags and buckets, and like once a week I'd take them down to Canton, VA.
Canton, VA. What do they do with them?
Give them out to the veterans.
Really?
Those who need it.
God bless you. And what was your rank in the Navy?
E5.
E5. What do they call it? E5 sergeant, or that's in the Army. It's a sergeant. What do they call it?
Second class.
Oh, a second class?
Petty officer.
Petty officer, second class.
Yes.
That would be 3 stripes or
2 big ones.
2 big ones.
2 V's.
2 V's. Okay, great. So wait a minute. You're growing all these tomatoes, and you can't eat them, so you take them down to the VA and give it to all the veterans.
When I was down visiting him one time for an appointment, a lady had 2 military soldiers who weren't so well. And she's talking nicely to them, saying that she just found them rooms. She got to take them shopping for clothes. And she says she planted a garden. She'll have fresh vegetables for them, this summer. So I went over to her and said, ma'am, I said, I plant a garden. I says, can I give you some? She says, yes, bring them here.
Now, this is a VA employee that's doing this.
Yes.
So they're not all bad VA employees.
Oh,
we
no,
know
no,
that,
no,
right?
No, sir. I've had no trouble whatsoever with Canton or, I'm bad with names, up in Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland VA, yeah.
Wait, I'm bad with
I get it.
My memory ain't all that good.
So we're never saying that. There's a lot of good people. I know a lot of good people at the VA are there to help. They want to do the job, but I keep hearing, even from them, I hear there's complaints when it comes to the administration.
That I can't answer.
Right.
But all I can say is when I go down there, the people there that work there are very nice.
Very good.
They do their job.
Well, that's good to hear that.
In fact, 2 months ago, they had a fellow walk in there that was dishonorably discharged. Dosed himself with gasoline, went to light it, and they tackled him, and it never happened. Yeah, down again. That was about 2-3 months ago.
Really? He doused himself with...
Walked in the VA, dumped gasoline on himself. Before he could light himself, they tackled him.
And he was dishonorably discharged. I wonder why he did that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he's pissed at the military for dishonorably discharging. I don't know the whole...
Yeah, we don't always know the whole story, but sounds like he has some problems.
Yes.
And maybe he had those problems when he was in the service too, and made things worse. Yeah. And that's, I understand that. The sergeant's job, as you well know, is taking care of his troops, right?
Yes.
We have to look out after those people in our charge and lead by example, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if only they would do that in Congress. Lead by example.
I can't go there, sir.
I understand. I can.
I understand that.
But God bless you. Well, thank you very much for everything you're doing. And know that this is going out. It's going to be on our Facebook page and our website. It's called JusticeForOurVeterans.com. JusticeForOurVeterans.com. You can go on there and see the website. And it takes us about 3 days, 4 days sometimes to edit everything and put it on screen, but it's all voluntary. Nobody's getting paid for this. We're looking for donations because the expense See, originally, what I was going to do is just get on my bike with a backpack, sleep alongside the road, or in some farmer's field. And so you can't do that. That's terrible. I said, why? I was an infantry soldier. It's nothing.
It's
You
like
know.
home.
Yeah, it's like home. Getting out there in the woods and in the grass, and just in a safe place where nobody will run you over, right? And they said, no, we got to get a chase vehicle, and so now that added to the expenses,
I understand.
But it's we're getting the message out. We were on Cleveland Channel 5. We just did with Gary and Pam, the radio station, morning radio. It's a Canton radio station, and I think Pittsburgh's going to do a story. So we're kind of getting the message out. I'm pushing a thing called the VA Accountability Act, which holds these executives with the VA that are, you can't fire them. And so now we're going to try, and if you don't get your job done, we're going to come after you. Everybody else does. You and I, if we're not doing our job, we get fired, right?
Yes.
And these guys are protected for their life. It's like they can't fire you. You can't lay them off. You can't punish them. You just retire them with full benefits. That's ridiculous. A regular civilian, that doesn't happen.
Word is that he's been called the next Paul Revere for the modern day.
The modern day Paul Revere, right?
That's good.
Except, what am I going to say? The establishment's coming. The establishment's coming. Hide.
About time.
Yeah. No, it's about time we started charging after them and holding our not only members of Congress and the Senate, but also the government bureaucrats accountable for their actions. They work for us. We don't work for them. They got to get that through their heads. And they're not going to get any more protection than the average everyday citizen has, right? You don't do your job, find another job. All there is to it. John, it's a real pleasure, and God bless you. Okay,
Thank you.
Stay out of trouble.